Hey everybody, it's Karen
And Sarah.
with A Day in the Life with Karen and Sarah. And we are here to talk about our end of the semester review and kind of a life update, kind of give you an idea of what's been going on with us. So do you want to start, Sarah?
Sure, what should I start with?
Whatever you want to start with.
I think we'll get started with the school stuff first and then we'll end with the life update since our life has been pretty crazy lately. So we'll start with talking about the school year. So I'm going to share my part of the school year and then you can share yours?
Sure.
So for me, this school year has been a very stressful school year and not good stress, kind of negative stress. Like any school year, it can be stressful. This year, we decided to use My Father's World as our curriculum for high school, and this was my freshman year, so the 2016-2017 school year. The My Father's World curriculum is a fantastic curriculum. I really like it, but I just don't like it for high school. I think it has a great layout for the younger years, elementary, middle school. Can I borrow this?
Sure.
This is the lesson plan book. This is kind of how I went off my school year. I still have some like page 5s in here. And it does break down the week for you, so it tells you your assignments and there's notes. But this curriculum is basically all independent fed. So you do all of it on your own with minimal help from your parent. And the way they have it set up is you're supposed to have like a parent, kind of like a parent-student meeting at the end of the week to go over your assignments and all of that.
So as a parent, you're doing just more facilitating than anything. They really are encouraging your kids to become independent learners, which is one of the goals of homeschooling, is to have an independent learner, which is a great idea. However, there's still some instruction that needs to be done along the way, and that's where we both sort of felt it was missing a little bit.
And so for me, one of the things that did make it so stressful is it would be like, oh, well, turn to here and look at, say, Monday's notes. I would look at Monday's notes and it wasn't really giving you a description of what you're doing. And so it was kind of vague. So for me, that made it very stressful. And then I would ask my mom for help and it just seemed kind of hard and stressful in that sense. And it made the school year very long, in a sense, for me.
So the other thing that I think is really important as homeschooling families is that you need to sit down at the end of the year and kind of go over how you think the year went, what do you think worked, what didn't work. And really it was funny, we were getting ready to go to the homeschool convention in Indianapolis, and Sarah and I were talking, and it was funny, and we were both feeling the same way about the year, but just hadn't told each other. I thought Sarah was really enjoying this independent learning and didn't really want to have this communication with me or me sitting down and instructing and things like that. I thought she was really just loving being an independent learner, whereas Sarah...
For me, I missed my mom teaching me. I'm not saying that, like, I don't want to be independent. That's not what I'm saying. I like the independent part of it, but it made it... I was missing it because I missed my mom sitting down and like teaching me and kind of going over the lesson and then breaking off and then doing my work. So I missed my mom teaching me.
and I missed teaching her.
And I thought like that you didn't want to teach me. I thought that you didn't want to teach me anymore and that you wanted me to be fully independent.
And so that's one of the things I think is really important, is that you do sit down and go, hey, did you? And so here we were both missing each other and the time that we spent. And so we're back and so that was one of the things that we had to discover at the end of the year, was that this was the thing that we needed to evaluate. And so one of the things we're looking forward to in the next school year is more of that one-on-one time. So when we go, and we'll do more videos about planning and things like that. But one of the things that we're going to do is set it up like a school day. Not that we didn't set it up like a school day before, but we'll do a little bit of instruction and then she can do her work, what she doesn't get done in that blocked out time or whatever, she can finish up after school or whatever. So we want to talk about a couple things that we really enjoyed this year, and then we'll kind of give you a life update of what's been going on over here.
Kind of a negative for me, but you can talk.
Okay. Here is the American Lit book.
Ancient Lit.
Ancient Lit, sorry. ancient literature book. It was okay. There were some good books that she read this year. Everybody reads the Odyssey and the Iliad, and that was one of the things she wrote this year, or read this year. And that's where one of the things that it included with the ancient literature was her writing and grammar. Grammar and composition was also in here at the same time. There are some pros and cons about it. They had great notes, activities to do with the Odyssey, not so much with the Iliad. They just kind of left you kind of hanging out there. So Greek and Roman mythology she covered this year, and then of course critical writing. So it was okay. It wasn't fabulous. It wasn't terrible. It was okay.
So I'm going to talk about these two books next, which these are kind of my thing that I really want to talk about because I really enjoyed these. These were a part of the Bible block, and you were constantly rotating out books that you would have with Bible, so it's not like you had a strict Bible curriculum. You were always kind of flipping around. This was probably my most favorite book. It's the New Answers book. It's the first one, and it's by Ken Ham. We were using this as one of our Bible supplements, and I really, really loved it because they kind of bring parallels into it. So some of the things you talked about is like Noah's Ark and the flooding, and kind of bringing the, I don't want to say like the stories we know from the Bible, but the things we know, and going more in depth and giving you a more understanding about it and how it actually affects our world today, and how you can see events repeating itself or starting to repeat itself. And then it does towards the back of the book, they do kind of talk about more, what's the word I'm looking for, modern events. So like the talk of evolution and all of that. So that's kind of cool that it talks about. I recommend this book so much to read it, even if you're not using it for school, just to read it, because the things you learn, the things you see, you think you might know something, but you find out so much more. And then the other one that we used was kind of our main Bible, was taking the Old Testament challenge. And it takes you down, how many weeks is this? I don't remember how many weeks this is. But it takes you through a full school year. And the really cool thing about it is they break down your whole week for you, but it doesn't just go through the week. It goes to the weekend as well. So you would have weekend assignments, and it takes you through the whole Old Testament, which I enjoy the Old Testament a little bit more than the New Testament. And that is the cool thing. Like I said, they'll take you through Job and all of the books, and you do it through the week, and it gives you like things to pray about, like thinking questions, and then to write, and then writing questions. So like, what did you read about? What was something that stuck out to you? And that kind of thing. And I did like that it had the weekend assignments as well. So it's not like on Friday, you're done. You're still learning over the weekend as well. So that was a really positive thing as well.
The other thing that we do throughout our school year is we belong to a co-op. And we attend co-op on Wednesday. So in the fall, like one of the classes Sarah took in the fall was a government class. And it was perfect timing because we did incorporate the election and major issues of the election that were important, and research some of that as well as the amendments. And so she got a government like her first semester. Then the second semester, one of the things she did was a book study.
Personal finance.
And so in her book study, she read Last of the Mohicans, the Screw Tape Letters, as well as The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, and then she did take a personal finance class. And so those are other things you can do as well. And I would encourage you as homeschool moms, if you can find a co-op to get involved with, I think it is really helpful. It gives your kids a chance to make some friends outside of your home, and especially for us because we only have one. And so without having siblings and things like that, sometimes it can be hard. I'm actually going to do a video on why we homeschool and why we chose to homeschool. And so that one will be coming down the road as well. So although My Father's World did not necessarily work for us this year, it may work for you and your family. it just wasn't for us. So that's why we've gone on and we've chosen to do Bob Jones or BJU Press in the fall. And we're really excited about that. I have begun to get some planning together. One of the things Sarah and I will do is we will sit down and figure out her schedule, the classes that she wants to, the classes she has to take, and in which order she wants to take them. Because I think, you know, when you get into high school, there's a little bit more discussion that needs to happen, as well as, you know, they want to have that input, and I think they should be able to have that input at this point in time. So we are looking forward to that. Now, for our life update. This year has been hard for us as a family. In December 2016, my husband was diagnosed with colon cancer. So that threw our family into a big whirlwind. Things were really uncertain for a while. In January, he did chemo and radiation, and he was gone for 6 weeks when he did that. We chose Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Illinois for his treatment, and we're thankful that we did. And so he did that for 6 weeks, came home, and then had surgery in April. And unfortunately, it was complicated, and he was in the hospital for a whole month, which again, kind of, our family's been unsettled since December. But fortunately and thankfully so, we had homeschooling, that we could still be together as a family, go through this journey as a family. And we can say at this point that my husband does not have to do any additional chemo or radiation because there was no cancer found in any lymph nodes. So we are so thankful to the Lord for that. This year, it's amazing when things were really dark and we were struggling and we were questioning why us. The Lord just made his presence known, and we had so many friends and family that were praying for us, and we could feel that love and that prayer and that support. It was amazing. And so the Lord always, it was hard. There were days I didn't think I was going to get through it. There are still days I wonder, are we going to get through this? You know, now we have, you know, follow-ups that Rich has to do every 3 months and things like that. But we are thankful that as of right now, we have a summer. He's home for the summer and recovering from surgery. We'll have his reversal surgery later this summer. So we are so thankful to the Lord for the good news that we've had so far, and we're giving him all the praise for that. And so that is totally exciting. I started a new business as a travel agent with Minnie's Travel Boutique. So I've been trying to get that up and running as well in amongst this with what's been going on with Rich. So that's sort of our life update. Sarah, before I forget, within her school year, we had Sarah doing service projects. She worked at a local church and she babysat for a mom's group on Tuesday mornings. So that was in amongst trying to get school done and everything we had going on with Rich at the same time. And so we have that as well. And she will go back working for them in the fall as well. So lots of things, lots of changes, changing curriculum again at beginning of fall is a little overwhelming, but really, really exciting at the same time. So even though life has been a little crazy, we are blessed with homeschooling. I'm thankful that was a choice that my husband and I made, you know, a long time ago, because we've always homeschooled. And as your year ends and you're kind of going, what do? We evaluate every year whether we're going to continue to homeschool or not. That's what we've always done, and that's what we will continue to do. And so take the time, pray about it. If you are along the way and you think, you know what, it's time for our kids to go back to school, that's fabulous. There is no right or wrong way in this journey of parenting, but I just suggest that you pray about it, let the Lord lead you, and ask your kids how they feel. Do they want to stay home, or are they wanting to go back to school as well? I think input from your kids are really, really important. Anyway, I hope you all have a great Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what all we're going to do. Maybe we'll do some fun things and we'll vlog along the way. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, share our channel with your friends if you feel led. Otherwise, we hope you have a blessed Memorial Day weekend. Thank a veteran, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.